Alright, so I am just going to show you some other questions that you guys can do, which I'm going to allow you guys to do on your own. And that he invested 20,000 Rand for 36 months at an interest rate of X% per annum compounded annually. His final amount after 3 years was this amount. Calculate the interest rate to the nearest whole number. Now, very importantly, I'm sure you guys can see what formula you will be using based on this wording, compounded annually. Okay, then he invested this amount, so we know what this is. Is it the A or the P value? Hopefully you guys know. For 36 months. Now, since we have months, very important that we understand what the conversion is in years. So you can see here that in the same problem, they basically said his final amount after what? 3 years was 26,620. So obviously 36 months is the same thing as 3 years, because obviously 36 we divide by 12 to understand how many years that is. Then calculate the interest rate. What do they want here? They want I, okay, to the nearest whole number. So of course we can express I as a decimal number, or we can express the interest rate as a percentage R. So that will basically be a question you can do. The second one, Yoli wishes to receive 120,000 in 3.25 years time. How much money must she invest in an account that offers 8% per annum compounded what? Compounded monthly. So this is very important. We are dealing with a compound interest situation, but then we are told that this is compounded monthly. So we have a compounding period. So if we have a compounding period, we need to then remember. What do we need to remember? Our formula. Obviously, the interest rate must be adjusted according to the compounding period. So that means I will be divided by 12, and our time period in years will be multiplied by the compounding period, which will be 12, and your substitution will be done accordingly. How much money must she invest in an account that offers? So how much money must she invest? What are we wanting to calculate here? We want to calculate the value of P. We are given the value of A. So please guys, pause the video and do the questions and then check if you'll be fine. I'll do a correction video of these problems. 4.5, a school buys tablets at a total cost of 140,000 Rand. If the average rate of inflation is 6.1%, now average rate of inflation, keyword there, inflation. Inflation has to do with compounding period per annum over the next 4 years. Determine the cost of replacing these tablets in what? In 4 years. Okay. So we buy at a cost of 140,000 Rand the tablets. That if the average inflation rate of is 6.1% per annum over the next 4 years, determine the cost of replacing these tablets in 4 years time. So we want the A value here, we want the future value, we have the initial invested original amount, we have a interest rate which represents the rate of inflation. So this is a compound interest sort of scenario, so we know which formula to use, and we are calculating A. These are level 3 type questions, both of them, which means they are complex problems, that require a complex procedure, and obviously there's that algebraic manipulation. Okay, then obviously now 4.6 goes on to a new scenario. Okay, so guys, at least we have an idea here. So do these, pause the video, do them. You can even pause the video here. These have to do with simple and compound decay. You can pause this video and do these problems and check if you are fluent in your calculations, because this is simple and compound decay. Formula obviously slightly different in that it's no longer dealing with A is equal to P plus I times N, close brackets, for simple interest, but now we are dealing with decay, which means our formula, instead of having plus, will have minus for simple decay. If it's compound decay, instead of having plus, the formula it will have minus. And it's so important that we don't make the mistake or the error of basically writing the wrong formula to do a calculation. I saw that a lot with my grade 12s who are now doing, who are writing during the September trial exam, that some learners used the minus sign instead of using the plus sign for certain formulas and so forth. So just need to be careful. Mrs. Smith bought a second-hand car worth 250,000, and the car depreciates at 13% per annum compounded annually similarly. Determine the scrap value of the car in 8 years' time. That's after its useful life. Determine the scrap value. So that's a future value, okay, which should definitely be less than the principal amount, because we are dealing with decay or decrease in a particular item's amount. So that's one. I mean, that's really a level 1 question, because we are required to basically calculate what? A value, the A value. Okay. Then 4.7, an amount of a construction vehicle worth 150,000 after 6 years' time, depreciated at 12.5% per annum on the straight line method. Determine the cost price of the vehicle. Straight line method means linear method, means simple decay. So we know the formula we ought to use. We want to determine the cost price of the vehicle. The vehicle is worth 150,000 years after 6 years' time. So this is an A value, the future value, depreciated at 12.5% per annum on the straight line method. Determine the cost price of the vehicle. So that's the P value. So we want the value of P here. Level 2 question makes sense, because we have to substitute and then manipulate the formula and use algebraic techniques to basically solve for P. Then 4.8, a business installs a server for 500,000. The value of the server depreciates at 20% per annum according to the diminishing balance method. Diminishing means reducing balance method, which means compound decay. So we know the formula we're using. Calculate the scrap value of the server at the end of 6 years. So once again, same level 1 type question, but we are using we're using the compound decay formula here. So let's be careful about that. Then lastly, a car costing 198,000 has a book value of 102,755. So this is after some time has passed. This is a depreciated price amount, which means this is the A value. 34. So after 3 years, if the value of the car depreciates at R% per annum on a reducing balance, calculate R. So a car costing this amount has a book value of this amount. Okay, so this is the initial amount and this is the book value, which means this is the final amount. So this is P, this is A, right? We have that given to us. After 3 years, we have the time period. If the value of the car depreciates at R% per annum on a reducing balance, calculate R. So we want to calculate the interest rate as a percentage. Okay, these are different compounding periods. Okay, the questions, nominal and effective interest rates, timeline type questions, and then of course more timeline, and then lastly mixed questions in the document. Okay, so there's a variety of questions, which is nice. Level 3, level 4, level 2, so that it's good practice, and more practice. And guys, it's really nice to analyze these questions. So my financial mathematics requires that analysis, being able to read and analyze a question and then apply the required methods and calculations. Okay, so we have nominal, different compounding periods here. How much will 25,000 worth? How much will 25,000 be worth in 6 years' time in an account that offers 14% per annum compounded monthly? So we have a compounding period here. Okay, which means interest rate will be adjusted, divided by the compounding period, which is 12, multiply the time period as well, 6, by 12 as well, because it's compounded monthly. And then we calculate the A value. 4.1.1, how much will Qiniso receive in 3 years if he invests 2,000 in an account that offers 12% per annum compounded monthly? So once again, adjustment in interest rate and the time period. We divide the interest rate and we also multiply the time period by 12, because it's compounded monthly. Another scenario, compounded quarterly. So we know I is divided by what? It's multiplied by what? You figure it out. Then here's another scenario that's completely different. Still with Qiniso, receive in 3 years if he invests 452,000 in an account that offers compounded half yearly. So we know interest rate is adjusted and also the time period is multiplied by, you see. Then here we have nominal and effective interest rate questions. convert 18% per annum compounded half yearly into an effective interest rate. So this one, really and truly, guys, I just want to do this one. Okay, convert 18% per annum. So 1 plus I effective is equal to 1 plus I norm. Divide to the power n. So 1 plus I. Now we are asked to actually convert. What are we asked to convert? We are asked to convert 18% per annum compounded half yearly to an effective interest rate. So 1 plus 18%, 1 plus I norm. The norm, so that would be 18 divided by 100. So that will give us 0.18. So we have 0.18, which we divide by what? The compounding period. We are told that the convert half yearly. So half yearly means we divide by 2, we raise to the power 2. Then we make I effective the subject. 1 plus 0.18 over 2 to the power 2. We take the 1, we transpose it, it becomes -1. And all we do is you grab your scientific calculator, guys. All you do is you grab your scientific calculator, you get the answer. Okay, and then usually it's nice to express it as a percentage. So obviously then what you are going to do is you are going to take that I that you will have gotten here, whatever it is, and then you'll times it by 100. And then I want you guys to express for me the actual effective interest rate as a percentage. You are going to take that, what you have gotten here, times it by 100, and you'll tell me in the comment section what the effective interest rate is. Okay, and I hope those that will be watching this video will populate the comment section with the answers that are correct, and I'll be happy to actually get your feedback.